can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
The Wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosion sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, gross atomic waste. From deep within the core, gross atomic waste.
Hello and welcome to the 408th episode of the Fallout Feed. We are the show who compares and contrasts Fallout experiences through the occasional roundtable, discussing the same quests with characters that have been designated random attributes. Okay, that was a terrible ad lib. But I am Ray, joined tonight by the illustrious Jessica Starr.
Hey, Ray. Greets, everybody.
And special guest Clint.
Good evening, all.
So we are running without our fearless leader, and we are going to really trash this place like we usually do when Andrew's gone. So anyway, having a good time, but definitely we're here to cause a little trouble.
Nothing wrong with a little chaos. What do you have on the menu tonight, Ray?
So on the show tonight, we have our gameplay as usual. We have a smattering of iguana bits, and it wouldn't be a show without Andrew without Vuvuzela or Mutant Hound.
Yes.
I have a really good feeling about this. Chat is asking for it too. People are ready. So yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be definitive. We'll work out exactly how you can tell one from the other. No problems.
Yeah, we won't have the pressure of having the boss, breathing down our neck when we're trying to figure this stuff out.
He's so critical just because we're not good at it. I mean, honestly, I think we're amazing at it. And we're going to show him tonight.
All right, we got this figured out. So anyway, let's jump into gameplay. So Clint, what have you been playing?
Lots of Fallout 4, which is sort of my comfort mode when I want to play something. I know where I am, and I've been in it so long now. I know where everyone's hiding, all the baddies. So don't get surprised by too much anymore. I just finished a whole playthrough, start to finish, just finding all 20 bobbleheads. Just
fun. Nice.
Yeah, I got to level 29, I think it was, when I got the last one. That included going in to do the main quest in as far as going into, what's the fort called?
Fort Ogden.
Yeah.
With Kellogg to get that bobblehead in there.
Yeah, but you don't have to go as far as Kellogg.
That's true.
So just fought my way in, found that kitchen, found the bobblehead, and then left.
And then left? Nice.
Yeah, because you don't have to do any more of the main quest to get all the bobbleheads.
Yeah, and you can do the same thing when you go in to get the bobblehead with Nick Valentine. You still have to go all the way through the vault.
Yeah, because that's part of the main quest to find him. And then you've got to go through that to get to Port Hagen. So I finished off that one with him, yeah.
Yeah, and the one that always gives me trouble is the Endurance bobblehead at the power plant with those raiders.
Yeah, it's hard work. But my character, normally when I set them up for something like that, they're a superwoman.
There you go.
With really good guns and so forth. So, yeah, makes it easy. But, yeah, it'd be interesting to do a round table, just set everyone with different attributes and see how you go at collecting all 20 bobbleheads.
Yeah.
Could be fun.
Yeah, we did a season of that.
We did.
Yeah, that was a fun one. That was like season 5 or 6, just bobblehead runs and televising them. We had a different community member do each run and kind of tell us about it. And of course, we all did too.
And currently trying out a new mod called Role Players Extended Dialogue.
Yes.
I haven't noticed a big difference so far.
Not a ton. The two places I noticed it right away was when you have the conversation with Wolfgang out in front of the Drumlin Diner.
Yeah, it's a bit different there.
Instead of it being a charisma check, it's a strength check to tell him to put his gun away or you're going to kick his ass.
Yep.
And then the same thing when you go into Good Neighbor for the first time and the guy tries to shake you down. If I had a character with a strength of 7 and he was able to pass that speech check. And that's another one where it makes a lot more sense that it's a strength check and not a charisma check.
You talked about it a little bit last week, Ray, and you're playing it too. It's only on PC right now, right? I don't think we have it available on console. But the fact that they've got the voice in there and all the newly written stuff, like, it's subtle. People said that it matches really well. So if you continue to play with it, I think you'll find a lot of changes just here and there in conversation. You might not even notice sometimes.
Best part is you can tell Night Reese to go fuck himself.
Mhm.
You can really?
Yep. I don't know. I haven't done it yet, so I don't know what happens if you do.
Definitely report back on that because I'm very curious.
And the other thing I noticed I was doing, it's the water place where you go in and fix all the pumps and that. It came out
The one that you do for the robots.
For Grey
Yeah, the
Garden.
wastewater
Yep.
treatment plant. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. And I came out of there just as, I must have got to level 20 as I came out of there or in there. And as soon as I got outside, the spaceship went over, which is like 180 degrees direction from where it normally lands. So I was with Piper. She said, "Oh, we better go and have a look and make sure everyone's okay." So went over there and somehow it had done that 180-degree turn before it landed, which is not bad. In crash mode.
Completely flipped around on you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to shout out again that amazing photograph you took. Like you're the first person with that photo mode mod and all that to actually get that spaceship crashing in flight. Such a good picture.
Yeah, because you get about a second and a half to hit pause.
Yeah.
And then you just got to move towards it slowly. It takes a while.
It's around the time you hit level 20, like in that general area, right?
No. Anyway.
Anywhere,
Is it
yeah.
anywhere on the map? Okay.
Yep.
I think I'm
you'll
just
hear
usually
it.
in the area then.
Yeah. It always goes overhead and it always lands the same angle. So
Yeah.
depending on where you are, how high it's going to be. Like if you're way down in the corner of the map, in the bottom right-hand corner or something, it's going to be at fair altitude. That'd make it difficult. But yeah, if you're anywhere close, it's a lot easier. But the way to get it, if you've got that, is on level 19, just watch your level and be ready with your hand above the pause button. I use the letter P for photo mode. And that works. That's about all in Fallout 4. 76. Currently it ranks 71 on the...
Oh, wow. Well done.
Which is not bad. I guess a lot of people would be finishing up, but Charlene and I went away for a couple of weeks on a road trip. So we didn't do anything for 2 weeks. So we're probably a bit behind most people.
You're still 70 levels ahead of me.
You do have to play the game. You realize that.
You have to play the game smartly.
What, to not get any?
Do not get any.
That's about it for my gaming for the week or the month or however long I've been on, since I've been on.
Oh, that's awesome. So a good bit of 76 now. Are you and Charlene still playing when you do play 76 in Custom World mostly?
Mostly in Custom World, yeah. It's basically just to get the dailies done. There's not much else. I was thinking about that, played through 76 probably 3 or 4 times, done the whole thing. And in Fallout 4, it's countless number of times I've played through because it's a lot. I think it's a bit quicker in Fallout 4. 76, there's a fair bit of grinding to be done.
There's grinding built into the experience for sure. Yeah, like as much as I think it's great to replay 76, you definitely, and I feel like it's probably a little bit harder to get serious variation in the role play because you get mods, of course, that helps. But even without mods, you can really choose different factions or go a different route. And the fact that you can wrap up a playthrough in 50, 60 hours if you want. I mean, not that most of us do. I mean, unless you're Raiden, you're like, yeah, I'm done with this character. Next. but I do agree. It feels more replayable.
Yeah. And 76 is all that rose stuff just takes days and days to get through. And, if you want to go and find the gold.
It's like a rite of passage.
It's a lot.
You know what I mean? Rose Quest, like when new players come in and you see new players and they're green and they're doing events, jumping around, learning the game. But around the time that they say, I just finished the Rose Quests, that's when you're like, okay, you're all in. You're officially playing 76 now. That's really a rite of passage. If you can make it that far without giving up, then you're gold. You got it from there.
Yeah. Definitely test.
Yeah, and even the quests for, what are the ones right after Rose? I can't think of the name.
Abby Singh up in her bunker there for the Free States.
For the Free States, that's the one. So if you do that without other players' help as far as getting locations.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of travel on foot to find places.
That is a lot of walking in that one.
And especially before one Wastelanders, the Mire was so scary. People today don't know. You don't know what it was like when we were kids, children.
Exactly.
We had to trudge through the mire in a snowstorm, but no, it was so scary because they were at level 75 or 100, and we're there at like level 40 or 50 because we leveled slower then too, maybe even lower. And it
Yeah,
was
usually
just
a lot lower because you get the quest for Rose, you're usually wrapping up right around 13 or 14.
Oh, I see. That's very different than me. I always tell people to wait till at least level 20 to start it. But even so, like by the time I finish Fire Breathers and everything, I'm usually at least 17, 18. So when I finish Rose, I'm 25 to 28.
Okay. Yeah, because I gauge it off of that. I usually try to time it so that I'm just getting the cannibal card from her when it becomes available.
Somehow I've never based my runoff when I get the cannibal card.
Really? Oh, that's weird.
I know. What can I say? I play differently.
So speaking of playing, Jess, what have you played?
It's been kind of a 76 week for me, actually. It's funny because I thought I'd be jumping into Fallout 4 more. I talked the last 2 weeks about, I nuked my thing. I got all these mods set, all that. So what I should have been doing all week is finalizing my mod load order so I can be like, you guys, we're going to start the roundtable next week. Let's go. Or very, very soon. But I did not do that as much. No, what I did instead was play a lot of 76. It's funny. I've been lax. We were talking on the ranks and all that. And I think I was around 20 or 22 last week, whatever it was. Well, I went hard this week. I got to catch up, keep up with the Joneses, all that. So I got in and I did all of the weeklies and I obviously did all the dailies for that day. And then later in the week, I went and did the rest too. So I made it up to rank 47 on the board. Did I buy probably 3 levels in there? Yeah, I did. Because if I got extra atoms, I top it off a little bit. But I got that. I'm looking in chat right now. We got Lee at rank 55, Salute at 85 or 86. So people coming a long way. It's just like you, Clint. A lot of people up there. I feel like people who have been playing each week, getting the weeklies done and some of the dailies, the average right now is about 70 is what I'm seeing.
Well, we would be higher, but for being away for a couple of weeks. But we just do the dailies and the weeklies. We always get them all done if we're here.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive. And that keeps you going at a good clip. I mean, we're only 4.5 weeks into this season. I expect, and I'm sure people out there know, I've said it before, is that I think there's going to be a 14-week season this time. So we're going to have extra time. Those of you on Scorecation will have a longer Scorecation. But even though it seemed like this was going to be harder, it really is going pretty quickly, even without the level up. And we talk about the bonuses there or not. So do you feel it's been slower for you?
The second half is always slower.
It does drag. Yeah, even with those boosts. Like the boosts help, but you still feel it.
Yeah, you still got to get towards the end. You're getting up around the 3,000 score mark. So it's hard work. And
it's a lot.
Yeah, the last 10, you'll only get one a day if you get everything.
But I got some good board focusing in, which was awesome. Also, talking about Tuesday, new Atomic Shop. What did we get? Rawr. We got a dinosaur. I'm sorry if you guys haven't been playing and you don't know, we got a dinosaur in the Atomic Shop, y'all. It's just like New Vegas. Big old Dinky the dinosaur. He's not quite as large as that. And there is no boon in his mouth, but he's really big. Roadside attraction. Very cool. So first thing, it's funny. First thing Tuesday night, I saw someone, Pochi on Twitter, merge a bench into the mouth and get on her little sniper beret and sit in there. It was a great boon picture. Yeah, close as we get. My friend Renee was trying to get a fire-breathing dinosaur, which awesome. But the problem with that is if you manage to drop merge a flamer into it via a bunch of different methods, turning on the flamer destroys the dinosaur because the teeth and mouth overlap. So right now for photos, the best I've seen anyone do is kind of hiding it behind. But someone told me last night that they got a merge that was working. So I'm going to have to see this in person. Maybe they got the nozzle sticking out just a little bit, like a dinosaur with a pipe. I don't know. But anyway, you got a dinosaur and you can make him breathe fire and it is super cool. So that's fun. That was my Tuesday. And I'm trying to think back on the weekend. Like I played some, but didn't really do anything major, just building stuff. Wednesday, I jumped in and I did PS play. So that is my kind of going back and experiencing the quest from the beginning. I've talked about leveling up my PlayStation character, how I'm doing it almost like a roundtable. I want to be authentic. I'm not leveling via fast traveling public events for the most part. I'm trying not to fast travel beyond locations I've found. Like if there's a group of people I could fast travel on, I'm not doing that. I'm finding a location organically, and then sure, I'll hop between the airport and my camp, or my camp and AVR Medical. But PlayStation, last time I checked in on that, I had done the Morgantown stuff. And this time I finished up the Morgantown airport, did all of AVR Medical, got the Scorched Virus, went and I did all the fire breather stuff too, the basics of the test and the agility. Can I just say, I don't know if they made the agility easier, but not to brag or anything, but I had like a minute and 20 seconds left over on that one. I'm like, what? How am I so fast at this now? Talking about AVR Medical. So have either of you done it in the last year or so, the AVR Medical quests for the Scorch Plague and all that?
Not for a long time.
Yeah, I did it after they
Oh.
changed the location of all the goodies.
Yeah. Well, not only did they change them, because I hadn't done it since then, I expected the T-Fuse to be up at Greg's mining supply. And no, that was right nearby at the railroad station, which I had heard about. But did you still have to collect stuff from 3 creatures, or did you only have to do 1?
I just had to do 1.
Yeah, I think it was down to 1 last time.
How lame is that? So for those who haven't done this in a while, now you go to get the Scorch Plague and you get the T-type fuse. You just go right nearby to the Morgantown train station. And then to get the blood samples, you just have to do ghouls, then you have to do mole rats, then you have to do wolves. And that wolf fight, when you're lower level, is hard. You're up on the hill there by Widow's Perch. Yeah, it was fun and challenging. Well, now it is not challenging in the slightest, because you go to the nearest ghoul, it's like right outside the door. You get blood, you put it in there, like, now you're good, get inoculated. I was looking at my quest log update. I'm like, how did this happen? What, is there a glitch? No, that's how they made it. Interestingly, the terminal, if you guys will read the terminal in there, it still says 3 blood samples. It does say go find 3 creatures' blood samples to study their resistance to create the vaccine. No, they didn't fix terminals, but they did change the quest. So I got that done really quick. And it actually took me 2 tries on the actual written knowledge exam as well. I'm like, I got this memorized. I've been a fire breather for years. You know what I mean? I'm an OG. No. So the first time I tried, I got 6 of 7 and couldn't figure out which one I got wrong. So I went through, found all the clues and took it again. Then also at the end, the final test with the burning mind, that was fun. Sarah and I, last time I did it on, Wendy Taylor is my last new character that actually did all the quests, because my new character on PC, I just did grinding. Mostly my PC character was just leveling via events and all that, doing stuff with friends. Oh, I'll do Rad to Rumble 100 times. Sure. That's how that character leveled. So getting back in there, last time we had done it, we were bemoaning the fact that they made it easier after one Wasteland. And it is. But as long as you go in solo, it's still got some fun to it. You're not one-shotting everything. So that was a good time. Got all that done. And then next thing, of course, you turn it back at the station, sending you to see Rose. Okay. And I'm looking, and I am level, I think 15 or 16 on PlayStation, which from what you're saying is normal for you. But I don't like to go to Rose before level 20, just because making friends with the Death Club, visiting that Wendigo over at Seneca Rocks, like, these are tougher things if you're doing it solo. I mean, if you're with friends, sure, fine. But doing it solo, like I mostly am on PlayStation, I want to take my time. But I'm enjoying that PlayStation character. And she does have the cold shoulder shotgun. I unlocked that, so that's going pretty well. So that was my Wednesday 76 play. And then Thursday, we did camps again, like always, but it was really fun. One of our camp builders didn't manage to make it, but the one who did show up, Greedy Newt, fantastic builder, super lore friendly. We see a lot of lore friendly builds. That's great. So many builders in the Wasteland they appreciate the extra effort it takes to make something actually blend with the landscape. And the biggest compliment you can give many of these builders is, wait, was this already here? Did you add this? When you can actually mistake for something in game, it just makes them so happy. And let me tell you what, Greedy's, he built the Scrap and Crap, so this is his second one. The original Scrap and Crap was kind of near New Gad in the middle of the dry lake. And we saw that about a year and a half ago. Well, he did a new one kind of over by the TNT domes. You guys know in the forest, as you walk from the vault, kind of up towards the TNT domes in that area along the road, there is a junk area. There are 2. There's one kind of in the middle of the valley in the grass, and there's one a little bit further up the road on a hill. But there's a junk pile there, and there's a wood resource. So you got a junk resource, a wood resource, and it's essentially an old scrap heap in that there is a gate standing there, and there's a broken down car and a few things. Well, he did the effort to actually build into everything already there, and it was just so immersive. He made it look like an old junkyard. Discovered something that I hadn't seen before. So, you know, if you destroy some of the prefabs, they can be fun to build into. Originally, if you destroyed a prefab, you could build into it. You could still put things in it and stuff. You could snap some foundations in. Well, they made it so if you destroy a prefab, it's hard to build in. But he realized that you can snap roofs through it, even though you can't snap foundations into it. So he managed to snap some roofs in to give it a floor and built inside of the broken down trailer. And it just looked so good. Like, I was really, really impressed. And he did that with a lot of things. He broke down the red rocket, then built into it. And so it was a really fun night. We saw that. We saw his tree house. It was just a really fun time in 76, like always. Besides that, what else have I gotten up to? Oh, I mean, all day today. I did play for a couple hours before the show, which is why those of you listening live, we started a little bit late. It wasn't just Andrew not being here. It was also, I had an engagement. I hung out with the Fallout 76 bow hunters tonight. If you guys aren't familiar with the bow hunters, that is our friend Marigold's group. Marigold's and McLovin and some other people. They have a subreddit, which is F76 bow hunters, I believe is what it's called, or FO76. But I got to hang out with a couple of them and see their camps, do some events, and the bow hunters, it's a really powerful build. I've recommended Duchess Flame's guide on a bow build before, and I will again. If you're bow curious at all, try her guide, try a bow build. The crits on a bow are insanely good. You are one-shotting almost everything in the Wasteland, two-shot at most, like even more than my shotgun when I'm right in their face. So I'm impressed. And the thing about bows is that they don't lose damage on range, and that's what makes them so powerful. So you can be 150 yards from something, and you're still getting max damage with your crits and with your shots. And that's one of the reasons why they are so good, because you can be on a rooftop and snipe. But you need a good build. They've done testing on that. Like if you have absolutely a bad build, even with a regular bow, it might take you 5 or 6 headshots. But if you have any build at all without bow perks, you can kill something in 3. And that's even without it being legendary. So bow builds are good. Always a good time hanging out with Marigolds and seeing some of their camps, what they were up to and the way they run events. It's just nice to integrate with another community a little bit. So yeah, that's my 76 play. I guess there's a lot of it, but it was less building or events than usual and more just playing. I did finish Person Ventures shows, another 13 episodes that down. I'm now going to start Fringe, which a friend told me sounded good. Have either of you watched Fringe?
I have.
Nope.
Okay. Did you find it good, Ray?
Yeah, I liked it.
Okay. I'm going to check it out. It's been recommended to me and I missed it at the time because of all the other sci-fi shows. You can only have so many shows at a time, right? So I'm going back and I'm going to watch that. And then, like I said, for Fallout 4, I still need to finish my load order. I worked on writing it out, but I haven't actually got it all installed and running yet. So hopefully this weekend. But that's my gameplay and fun and game news as far as that goes. How about you, Ray?
Well, so I've been doing dailies still in No Man's Sky.
The place to be, I hear. Yeah. How many galaxies are there in No Man's Sky? I was talking to some people tonight, and I'm like, aren't there 17 or 24? Like, I remember you saying how many galaxies there were, and they're like, nah, there's more than that. Ray, how many galaxies?
255.
Holy cow. Okay. Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah, there's trillions and trillions and trillions. I've seen the number. I can't even remember what it is, but it's just a ridiculous number of individual star systems that you can go into. And I don't even think they have numbers for how many planets there are in the game. So I've been doing the dailies on that, which are fun and kind of quirky. They're not difficult. There's only one a day and they vary, and kind of like re-rolling, you can just wait and it'll change. But I usually just pick up whatever's there. It doesn't matter what it is. It's not going to be that bad. Yeah. And then rewards. Also the reward is Quicksilver, which is one of the currencies. It's kind of the obscure currency that you don't have to have, but it gets you all the cosmetic upgrades. So building parts for your camps and things to wear and that kind of stuff. There isn't really anything in the Quicksilver shop that enhances your character's power. Nothing to make your ship faster, but there is stuff to make your exhaust trails squiggle or blow bubbles or stuff like that.
Just cosmetic stuff, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of this new update, I started a new character. And so that character now has his own settlement. And in No Man's Sky, I name all of my settlements after Fallout 4 settlements. So this is right on the edge of a lake. So it's Covenant. And so I've been building up Covenant. And that's been the bulk of the gameplay in No Man's Sky. Still playing quite a bit of the Skyrim. We're going to record a show early next week. And with this one, I've been playing around with a lot of different worship mods, or not different worship mods. One worship mod. It's by an Ision called Winter Sun. Okay. And it lets you worship all the different deities in the game. And so I've been playing around with all those. So that'll be on the next Skyrimatic.
Oh, that'll be really cool. I mean, I know y'all like the Nice Scions mods. I mean, I almost always load at least one or two of his. And I know y'all do. I'm looking at Winter Sun, Face of Skyrim. So does it basically, like many of his overhauls, does it change the perks you get from deities? Or does it actually change goals and the way you handle quests too?
Yeah, both.
Okay, well, we'll have to listen to Skyrim Addict to find that, of course. I don't want to make you get too into detail, but that is cool.
Yeah. So we talked about the Such Fallout 4 mod collection. And so it has sim settlements in it. So I started a new character that is settlement driven. And so I've been playing around with settlement building in Sim Settlement 2. And it's come a long way. I played with the original Sim Settlements, and this one is certainly a lot more involved. I haven't done any of there's some built-in city building. I haven't delved into that yet, but I've got all my AMS, I think ASAM sensors. I've been playing around with how to build stuff with those.
Cool.
And always fun and interesting to play around with new mods.
Yep.
Infinite possibilities. That's one of the many things we love about it.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of Sim Settlements too. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't work the way that I imagined things would work. So I played right through to the end of wherever it was at the time. Thinking about someone got kidnapped by the gunners at the end. And then,
is that Conquerors?
Yeah.
They've got a lot of different iterations of the mod.
I've only played Sim Settlements 1, and that one integrates a little bit more because it's just the modules and building up your settlements. But then Sim Settlements 2 really expanded on that, added some quests, and then Conquerors has that whole storyline, right, Ray?
Yeah. Where you can either join the raiders and become a raider. But yeah, I just took the castles where that character's at. Mm-hmm. And then when I saw that Spooky Scorch were back, I decided
you rushed right into the game, right?
Jump in and start my search for Spooky Scorch and to find a new game in Fallout 76, and that is get 0 score.
No.
while still
oh my God. So you're literally using those rerolls to not get score, aren't you?
Haven't yet. I haven't gotten close enough to actually accomplishing one of the objectives.
Get 9 Spooky Scorched and stop there.
Yeah, that's right about where I'm at too. So yeah, that's my fun new Fallout 76 game is, can I actually play the game and not get any score? So I also have to keep my XP down. So
the whole idea of the game, not get score.
Yeah.
Not level up. We don't have to level up anymore anyway.
No, we don't need to. It's funny. I've finally been at the place for a little while now where I'm starting to bank levels. Like, I was skeptical about people who they wouldn't actually spend their levels when they leveled up. Because even though you could finish your special, you're still grabbing the cards. But now I'm always rocking at least 30 or 40 levels I haven't cashed in. And it's funny because they really aren't that important. And then if you do have a chance where you're like, oh, I need this specific card, you can use a level, you can get that card and mount it. You don't need to keep them in your inventory. So yeah, mentioned the collection's funny because it came up in another chat. Actually, we're talking about Fallout 4 and collections, and I happened to recommend some of the stuff we were talking about the other day. In the Modus Files Discord, there's a bunch of players who listen to Modus Files. They have their own Discord. And One Wall Comedy is starting a new Fallout 4 install, and he was asking about mods. We started talking collections and looking into those, and it is really neat, the potential with collections. Is there like a specific place where you can browse them? Like, can you just browse collections on the Nexus too? Or
yeah,
I found a couple websites, but I assumed.
Yeah, they have a section in their
Nexus one.
Yeah, where you can just look at just the collections.
Yeah.
And it lists all of them. Just like with the mods, you can sort them by newest or most endorsed or most downloaded, all that kind of stuff.
See, I like that. It's fantastic. You talked about the ease of use with collections and how they're installed, and it's a tested load order. Usually, obviously, it's down to the person who puts it together. But a lot of them are well put together to the point where you can trust it. And that's something we've always done for each other. What's your load order? How do you do this? I've been chatting with a guy, the Ancient Gamer, who does videos on that. He has some on YouTube. He's got another group. And he has a couple of amazing Skyrim load orders that he'll share for Xbox and stuff, kind of like I like to. And we can't have collections, but when you have someone who's reputable who does that, it really helps. And we'd love if that kind of thing could come to a console.
Yeah. And that's really, if you sort by most endorsed, then you can see they have a rating on them, and people, the Vortex manager prompts you to note whether or not you've had a good experience with this collection or not.
Oh, that's cool.
So it prompts you to comment, not necessarily written comment, just say yes or no. Did it work for you? So that the ratings can reflect a good cross section of the users, because it's definitely a tricky thing to moderate a mod list. And
the larger they get.
Yeah, and some of them are over 1,000 mods. It's crazy.
I've got 140 odd, and I think that's a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, on Xbox, we have a hard limit of 150, like we're talking about. On PC, isn't there officially a hard limit of like 255 or something? But if you're using Vortex or you bash them or whatever, there are ways around it? Or is there not a limit?
Yeah, no, there's a limit on the number of the
ESP, ESM
it's
files?
either ESP or ESMs.
Right.
One of those two, there's a limit on the number you can have, but you can merge a lot of stuff, because a lot of the mods, you're only using like one, texture file out of all the texture files that they have. But you might want 10 from this mod and 1 from this mod and 2 from that mod, but all 3 mods use all those files. And you set the priority, tell them which ones you want, and let it roll. So you can merge those together and using some other tools to increase that number. But it's a ridiculously large number. You can have thousands of mods, because some of those don't have ESP files.
Right, that makes sense. You can install them loose, and their textures, you're just overwriting things and such. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I haven't actually used any collections yet. I've been looking through them, and they all have things that, okay, I don't want that, I do want that sort of.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I'm using them to as another way of finding, because there's 50,000 mods.
There's so many.
If you go through Nexus mods, and which are the good ones and which are just translations into French or something like that amongst them all. So collections is a good way to look at them.
What I'm hearing from you here, Clint, no one can tailor the experience to exactly what you want. And so you're now going to publish a collection soon, right? Is that what I'm hearing? The Clint collection?
I don't know if people would want my collection. I might get into trouble.
I guarantee the outfits are going to be good. I mean, maybe not appropriate for all ages, but good.
Charlene sometimes comes in when I'm playing Fallout 4 and has a look and says, "Oh, that'd be uncomfortable."
Yeah.
No, she doesn't feel a thing. It's all right. Yeah.
I can definitely recommend, even if you just get it for 1 month to get your collection, get the premium subscription, because I've downloaded them both ways, with and without. And with, it was 1 click. And then I did have to make a couple of decisions, because I already had some of the mods that were in the collection. And so I had to tell it whether to download the new one or keep the old one. And that was it. I hit the button, walked away, came back a couple hours later, and 160 mods were loaded and enabled and ready to hit play.
And you did this on a new profile? Like you couldn't?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be a good idea to add it to my
No, you definitely. Yeah. I created a profile just for this collection, and hit that. I've done a couple of characters on it, so there's a few different save files, but it's all on that one profile. And you can activate other mods, and you can deactivate mods that have been loaded. If there's something in there you don't want to use, you can deactivate it. If you have another mod that you like better that does the same thing, to disable the one that came with it and enable the one you like.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a great way to customize and test. And I mean, it's funny because we all develop our old favorites and standbys over time. And it's fun to force yourself out of your comfort zone. And a collection can kind of do that, but there are some things you just can't live without.
Yeah. Well, and I downloaded this collection, and it doesn't use the role play speech mod, but I wanted to try that mod out too. So I added it to the load order. And away you go. If you don't have the premium subscription, you have to manually download every single mod. So you have to tell it, yes, give me the slow download, and wait for that to happen. And so you have to do that for every single mod in the collection. So it's
Luckily.
worth the $6 or $7. I don't know, depending on what the it's $4.99 in pounds.
Yep.
Because they're in the UK. So whatever that costs in US at the time, or Australian, or wherever you happen to live, that's what it costs to be 1 month premium subscription.
Yeah, I took out lifetime before they cancelled that. So
Yeah.
I'm still premium from then. I think it cost me about $30 or $40 Australian.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's for life. Before they realised that's not a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. But it makes all the difference in the world. There is a bit of a learning curve because now you don't just click on mods, because a lot of times I'll click on a mod just to see what the hard requirements are. That they list them in the description, but a lot of times I'll do it just to get a separate link to pop up. And
It's a bit
now I
clunky,
can't do that.
If you look at the list of mods in a collection, it's a bit clunky going from one to the other. Things jump all over the place. So.
Yeah.
But it's not too bad.
So I've done it now with mods for Skyrim and Fallout 4, and they work really great so far. I haven't had a bad experience with them. I haven't had a ton of them, and I usually only do the highly endorsed ones, but definitely a good way to go if you're, especially, so it's so much easier to get into PC modding now than it has ever been, because you've never modded a game before in your life. Good Vortex, and then go into one of these collections, hit the button, and let it do all the work.
Step 3, profit.
And then hit play.
Yeah, I just love that, because the way so many people do it and get into modding is asking what mods do you use, and picking, like, just kind of dipping their toe in, asking people for their favorites. The fact you can do a fully modded collection without even watching a video on it or using little by little, step by step, all the work, because some installs are not easy. Most aren't hard,
Right.
but some definitely aren't easy, even when you're running, Mod Manager 2 or Vortex or whatever. And now they are.
Or even manually doing SKSE. Or
does it install your SKSE for you too, like the extenders and the frameworks?
Bam.
Muffin humper. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that really is amazing.
They can add things that are outside of the Nexus, that they can put those in there too.
Really?
Yeah.
That is just cool.
Yeah. Yeah. If anybody's been hesitant about modding on a PC, wait no longer.
Yeah, Vortex is the way to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lee says more collections need the Fallout feed flag.
Well, yeah, and it's only on Bethesda. I didn't go through the process of getting registered on the Nexus to get it loaded there, and now I don't even have the files anymore. So I don't have the Fallout feed flag.
It's lost to time. I love that.
People should do that. Hooked hard. It is hard to play. I've done a few things. We've even done it in 4, where I've purged all the mods, did a vanilla, and it's really, really weird.
Yeah, I think I lasted about 5 minutes out of the vault.
Yeah, super hard to play that way.
It's hard going back to unmodded once you get used to things. It really, really is. The only reason I don't have a PC install because with this next playthrough is because, well, I mean, I like my couch. We all know that. But also to stream it, it can be better having it on a separate system, because then you're not taxing your PC. So the console's doing the hard work of running everything with all the mods, and the PC's doing the hard work of converting and streaming and making everything work. I can stream PC like I can on 76, but I imagine like the more mods I added to that, like running a fully modded version where you're really pushing your card and looking as beautiful as you want it to look, probably isn't very streamable on a single system. At least not on my beast.
Just got to get a better computer. Yeah.
Well, and you've got a pretty smoking computer.
I just built this one. It's pretty solid. I mean, when I play PC 76 now, I can put it on high on pretty much everything and stream no problem. I turn the resolution down to 1080. You know what I mean? I don't play at like a full 1440 when I'm streaming, because it's just taxing the card a little bit.
And that's really more the limitation of the streaming services. They screw that part of it up more than anything. And your excuses are falling faint, because with Steam, you can use big picture mode and play it on your TV. And you play with or just a TV up where your computer is, and you play with a controller. And so you can hook a controller up to your PC.
Yeah, if I'm not using cam as much, it would probably be just fine. Okay, I'm not going to do it. I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I'm not committing to anything. But you're right that my excuses are weak sauce, and I feel bad about them. So I'll think about it. At least to try a modded installer if I'm not streaming it, because it does sound cool.
Yeah. Well, and you know what'll help relieve some of that stress is a good game of Vuvuzela Hound.
I would love to play Mutant Hound or Vuvuzela right now. I have some clown clips. No, I have some sound clips set up and ready to go. I ain't clowning around. We're gonna get this one. But before we start, I do feel we need to kind of hone our game, focus in on the real essence of what makes a Vuvuzela and a Mutant Hound different and yet so hard to discern. Do you have any advice for us, Clint?
Sure do. Yep. There is a way to tell the difference between the two of them. And all you have to do is listen not to the sound of the hound or the Vuvuzela, but the background sounds in there.
Really?
That's the giveaway. So Vuvuzelas are almost invariably used in a crowd situation. So you will have sounds of crowds in the background if you listen very carefully. Whereas the Mutant Hound howl, you usually hear that. You just hear that when nothing much else is happening and you know that you're about to be attacked by super mutants or something, but everything's quiet, you know.
But the only other thing you might hear is that beep, beep, beep of a supersider.
Yeah, that's right. But if they're not in the group, it'll be all quiet.
Yeah.
Only problem with that is, of course, we're dealing with Andrew here, and like he's no fool. He's probably already thought of this. So I'm imagining, like he's a musician, so any musician worth their salt will have a Vuvuzela in the cupboard somewhere to get out, and he's recorded that himself. And I'd say he went to a lonely hillside somewhere, and he didn't do it at home. We know that because Tori hasn't killed him.
He's still married, yeah.
So he's gone out on a lonely hillside somewhere and done the recording with no crowd sound in the background.
Yeah, he probably EQs it out and all that. He's devilish and diabolical, but I think you're right.
Yeah, and then there was that, you might remember, Jess, that time when you were doing the fights in El Gato there, when one was cheering on the fight and so forth, and a Mutant Hound came in the background and
yes,
heralded that the whole place was about to be raided by super mutants. Now, I'm pretty sure Andrew was there at that time and he probably recorded that. So I hope that helps, that listening for it. Just listen for the background sounds, work out whether they're made by Andrew or not, and you'll have it. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
I'm work with that.
Yeah, I think this is good advice. So, Clint, do you want to play the sounds this week and let us know if we're right or not? Or
okay, why not? So here we go. Were you both going to try and pick it, or just Ray?
Alternate. Yeah.
Okay. Ray first. Have a listen to this and just carefully about the background and see what you think.
Okay.
How'd you go with that?
I think I definitely heard some cheering in the background of that one. I'm going to go with Vuvuzela.
Oh, dear. What? Andrew, where is he? He'd be able to tell you.
Okay. Well, you know.
I feel like that was it. For this next clip, you let us know, Clint, if we're right or not. Okay, ready? I'm ready to go.
This time you've got to guess it. Yeah.
Okay, play the clip now.
Oh.
That is 100% a Vuvuzela. I definitely heard someone eating popcorn in the background, maybe a little munching and crunching, maybe a little bit of crowd sounds. I don't know. Am I right?
I'm pretty sure you got that right. Yeah.
Nice. I knew it. Okay. This is working for us, Ray. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. I know what to listen for now. All right.
Yep. Ready?
Okay. That was quiet in the background. I'm going to go with Mutant Hound.
You sure he wasn't on the side of a hill somewhere, quiet in the background?
No. That was a Mutant Hound, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's the one that Andrew did on the side of the lonely hill out in the sticks.
Well,
Well played. Oh my gosh, we are on a roll. He's going to be so proud of us again. We didn't get any flack last time after we were 100% right. He did nothing but kudos for us. Nothing but, you guys, I'm so proud of all this. What? We're not wrong, are we?
Yeah, it's 1-1. No, Ray was wrong for the first one. So it's 1-1 now. And
that was just warm up. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. Andrew, so proud. You guys last time said he was going to be mad. We didn't hear anything about it. Not a peep. Did I might have wiped it from my memory, but we're going with that.
He's very understanding. Yeah.
Okay, so play me the next one now.
Ready?
That one was wild. I think we got a double Mutant Hound. I think that's a Mutant Hound again, twice in a row. Come on, what do you say?
Twice in a row? Yeah, well, that's the way to do it. Yeah, you got it right again.
Woohoo!
Yep.
We
really
did it,
well
Ray.
Done. Really well done.
3 out of 4 ain't bad.
Pretty good. You don't want to keep playing, do you?
Are we going to wrap it up? What do you think, Clint? Did we make our point? Did we show Andrew who's boss?
Not who's boss, but just show how good you are when you listen properly.
Yeah, when we know what to listen for. Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, he never told us about any of that stuff before.
The background stuff. No, he wouldn't. He was trying to fool you. Yeah.
He's a tricksy hobbitses, for sure. For sure, but we know. Well, awesome. Appreciate it.
Oh, dear.
So after that, let's recover. Let's get serious for a second. We have some iguana bits to get into. I wanted to start, first of all, with just a comment about the show. Kind of thanks to the community, all of our listeners and friends out there, all of you in chat right now, and everyone at home or in the car, wherever you like to listen. Last month, we had a record number of downloads for the show in the last 5 years or so. We don't still have the stats for the first couple years on different hosts, but in the last 5 years, we had a record number of downloads. And it's kind of funny because things ebb and flow with our show. A lot of it has to do with the popularity of Fallout at the moment, how much is in the news, if we have regular listeners, people new to one of the games or not, people finding us, sticking around. We love y'all. Whether you listen to one show or all of them, it's great. But yeah, so over 11,000 downloads in just 1 month, last month. I just wanted to shout that out. Thank you so much. We've been near that peak a few times, but this was a new one. So thanks, guys.
Yep, thank you, everybody.
That one person downloading a lot of times or what?
Some of them are in Australia, but we can look at the stats right there. So you know that I think Perth is one of our top 10 cities usually. Someplace in Australia is one of our top 10.
Nice place.
I've never been there, but I trust it is.
It's the most remote city in the world. The city that's furthest away from any other city.
That is really cool. Is it inland or is it on the coast?
It's on the west coast, southwest coast.
You people in Perth, you might be remote, but you found us. So thank you for that. So in actual news, I wanted to, if you guys haven't heard, there is not going to be an E3 conference this year. E3 has been officially 100% fully canceled.
Bummer. There goes the No Man's Sky meetup.
Wait, were you guys having a No Man's Sky meetup around the E3 conference?
Some of the main creators were going to be at E3. They'd gotten press credentials. And so we were planning on having a live meetup in LA.
Yeah, that would have been so good. Because you guys have done a few meetups before. And
yeah, we did Orlando last year, which was fun. But alack and alas.
Yeah, so here's the thing about E3. It was going to be in person this year again for the first time. There's a lot to the story. I'm sure many people know, but ReedPop, the company that produces all the PAX events and a few other community events, was picked by the ESA last summer to take over. They made some announcements, but it seems like little by little that more and more of the large studios weren't going to be there. Obviously, some publishers and devs had already stepped away, but more and more people weren't coming back. Even Microsoft, they're doing their presentation around it for Xbox, but they weren't officially part of E3. And then last week, a week or so ago, Ubisoft said, no, we're not going to be at E3 either. And Ubisoft was the last of the main publishers. I think Embracer might have still planned on being there. And of course, plenty of smaller studios. There was even a comment by Limited Run Games, if you guys know them. They do remakes and republishing physical editions of old games that are out of print. And about a week ago, they announced that E3, they were still going to be there. They had a booth. E3 had their support. And so people were thinking with the contracts, even if it was really smaller and more of a fan show than usual, that it would still happen. But no, they announced a couple days ago. The president of ReedPop actually stepped away. I think his name is Lance. After 17 years, he stepped away too and expressed his regret that things couldn't happen. The logistics of it to step up and do that, especially when you didn't have the large companies there. Were part of the reason.
Yeah, it was really sad for them to intimate that Starfield wasn't going to be ready in time and was going to get delayed.
Yes. That is a thing that didn't happen. But luckily, we're still having all of our wonderful presentations for around that time. Key 3 is still going. Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest. And while Summer Game Fest isn't the same, everything all at once, there will be a Summer Game Fest presentation where they'll show off some stuff and then other shows around that time. We do have the Xbox show and the Sony show, and of course, the very special Starfield Direct, which will not be delayed, on June 11th. So still tune in for that. That's going to be great. And then September. Oh, hey, personal note. I got all my time off approved last week.
Nice.
So your girl is off for not E3, but I'm off for the Starfield Direct and like the days around it. I am off the week after Starfield comes out. I couldn't get the week of. It's highly competitive. Everybody wants to play Starfield, of course. So I got the week after it comes out and a few other dates around the industry. So I'm happy about that.
Clint, did you get that week off?
Yeah, I've organised it. Yeah,
I got the week off too.
Yeah,
God, who the hell am I podcasting with?
organised it
2 old
years
retired
ago.
guys.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Well, you'll have to tell me how it is that first week. I don't think that every moment I'm not working, I'm not going to be playing Starfield.
Back on that E3 thing. So not that I wish ill on anybody, but I would really like them to cancel PAX West because it's always the same weekend as Dragon Con. And so they siphon off a lot of the talent. So a lot of the West Coast actors and voice actors and all that go to PAX West because it's closer to them and don't come to Con.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it was called PAX Prime. Now it's PAX West because PAX East has been the largest, which also just happened last weekend. They really should work on not having it at the same time. I mean, there's only so many large cons out there. Why do they have to be the same weekend?
Yeah.
So that E3 meetup you were talking about, if people were looking at logistics of doing that, do you think something might still happen for the group this summer?
No, because there were a lot of moving parts to that. And so if people coming from Europe and the whole 9 yards. So
right. So probably some people already had stuff booked as well.
They hadn't really gotten all that far, I don't think, because they had just gotten their press credentials just a couple of weeks ago. So
yeah, at this rate, I have to say, no one can predict for sure, but it does feel like missing this year entirely after a couple years of not and the issues before, that it may not be coming back.
Gone.
It's hard to predict, but I agree. I think it is too.
Yeah. Well, unless another company bought it and turned it into something else and did it in Vegas every year.
Yeah. If they changed what it was, that might make a difference.
Yeah.
It's just another victim of the pandemic.
In a lot of ways, and of their own. The writing had been on the wall for a while in that it was 100% changing as larger companies are already pulling out, and found that they could just accelerate the plans to do their own thing. As much as press is important, if you're high profile enough, you could just do your own publicity and it works fine. But that's E3. Let's look at what's actually happening in the world of Fallout right now. Well, on the calendar right now going on, we have Spooky Scorched happening. I think I highlighted it last week. If you can find them. Yeah, there's the thing. So I think we talked last week about how the fact that on the old calendar, it was just another weekend. And we had all these ideas of what it could be. It was going to be amazing. It was going to be... No, just another weekend is literally just another weekend because it's Spooky Scorched, Script Surplus, and Gold Rush. So they were cleverly highlighting tongue-in-cheek the fact that Spooky Scorched on April 1st is funny. And it is, but... Come on, third year in a row.
It's not that funny.
Right. We're expecting it now. We had the usual Modus announcement where Modus comes in and, hello again, members. We apologize for contacting you through. He added another bonus challenge all weekend.
Yeah. So what's the rationale around doing Spooky Scorch? I mean, would it really have been that hard to just throw some Joker skins on Scorched and done something thematic to the time period?
Yeah, they could easily, you would hope, do something a little bit different. And I do have to wonder if maybe they did plan on, if something was ready, to do something special for this weekend when they first wrote the other calendar. We don't know. I don't know. But you're right, they should.
They could leave it till next weekend and do Bunny Scorched.
Yes, we need Bunny Ear Scorched. But also, reading this article, there's a bonus daily challenge all weekend. So that's good. The fact that you now need 6 and they're only giving you a straight 6 if you're not Fallout first, that's a little rough. So rerolls and having bonuses a bit is really helpful to people. So that's what's on the calendar this week. Looking ahead, I just want to take a look at what's coming up. Nothing that exciting this month, but end of April, April 25th, we do have the Mothman Equinox coming back. So I'm excited about that. The Equinox actually near the Equinox. So we just had it last week.
Yeah,
so this is within a month of the Equinox for once.
Only a couple of weeks out. They'll get it.
Close as they've gotten.
I don't mind the Equinox Mothman thing. It's good.
It's a really fun event, and I do like those events when they don't happen too often. We've got Aliens coming back in a month or two later. I think Aliens are coming back in June, and by that time we'll have another big update too. And it'll have been a year since we last did Aliens. That's plenty of time. I know time flies. People don't feel like it's been a year, but it has. So,
well, we're seeing Aliens occasionally now. They
added them to the daily ops. Yeah.
Yeah, the daily op for today.
Yep. With last update, we got them in the daily op enemy pools. So those keep increasing and improving, and that's really good. Looking at the item shop real quick, I just want to mention, if you're Fallout First, you can still get that caged owl free till April 4th. There is the cat topiary, the little plant kitty. The little plant kitty is free until April 4th for everybody. So if you don't have that and you want a kitty cat in your camp, go and get it. Also, the aforementioned roadside attraction bundle with the dinosaur is in the item shop right now. And you can also get a cute little Cow Spots Creamery stand, which is actually really cute. I mean, Item Shop has taken all our money lately. Well, okay, taken all my money. I can't speak for you, gentlemen.
I am still in the 5-figure of Atom, so
nice.
I'm not buying too much.
They've been doing really well, though. These companies, the different studios working with them are bringing out some really great items. And along those lines, talked last week about we don't have a roadmap yet. Do we really need one? Well, one thing I wanted to call out is that the Fallout Twitter and their publicity, the promotions on Facebook and Insta and Twitter, they stepped up and were more active again this week. Now, I don't know that that means anything in particular, but after about 2.5 months of only tweeting when there's an update happening, they actually got in there and they did a bunch of retweets and original tweets. So let's see, it started after St. Patrick's, and then they tweeted about Minerva, treasure hunters, then they retweeted 4 days ago a cosplay, camps. They're sharing a bunch of camps, a build that we actually saw on UWN tour. My friend Rux and I, a week ago, ones we got pictures of, they retweeted that and shared, and they really liked the planes, trains, automobiles. I talked about the Alice in Wonderland camp I saw last week, I think. They really liked that one. They're talking about all that stuff. Oh, also, they have a call for dinosaur camps. Show us on Instagram and tag us for your dinosaur pictures. They're all into the dino too. It's not just me, which I love. But it makes me wonder, when they pay extra attention to what everyone in the community is doing, usually it means they're like, okay, let's take the temperature on this stuff before we do something new. So I'm not saying it means anything, but I'm saying hope springs eternal. They're not delaying Starfield, and maybe we'll get a roadmap soon. You like how I snuck that in there?
Yeah.
Maybe because they're
smooth.
They're finally winding down the frantic work they've all been doing on Starfield, so that they now can spend some time to get back on socials.
That's probably a bit of it too. There are different parts of the studio dedicated to these things. You know, Fallout, we have our own community manager, and some of the staff specifically focused more on Fallout. But of course, they're not that big of a company. They are large, but a lot of people do a lot of things, wear a lot of hats. So for sure, I wanted to mention that. And one other piece of news, the PTS did reopen I talked about that last week actually with double mutations. So that's been a week now that's been happening. That's all I got for Iguana Bits.
I haven't been looking at Twitter for a while, sort of.
Yeah, some people are on Twitter as much as ever, but a lot of people have stepped away.
Yeah, and for things like Fallout and other games, there's nothing political about them, so why not stay on?
Yeah, there's still a lot of good news. It's just the way that Twitter serves you news and information has been a little bit different now. You don't actually see as much of that stuff as you used to, but that's all about the algorithm. So let me just check out that. Anything else you want to get into tonight? I do have some Reddit top stories. Maybe if you want to take a look at those, or...
Yeah, let's look at that.
Okay, Reddit top stories. Most popular post on Reddit in the last month. This is fantastic. I just saw someone throwing a grenade inside Ward's trailer and closing the door. Over 1,000 likes for just kind of having the guts to help and showing Ward what for. So I thought that was pretty darn funny.
Yeah. It is nice that they've given him a fixed location so people can more targeted attack him.
You know where to find him. Yeah, absolutely. I've been seeing Ward a lot more because, as I mentioned, the only reputation I have left is Settler Reputation. I'm finally trying to get that done. So every time I play, I visit him at least once and I grab him whatever he's lost today. Grenade and Ward's trailer, definitely a mood. The third most popular post is one I also wanted to point out that I know many listeners know about, but let's go over it because I think it's important and some people didn't, which is why it's got a lot of upvotes. So Project Paradise has a secret alternate mode. Now, those of you who have been playing for a long time and explored Arctos Pharma fully know that there is a way that you can find a terminal and shutdown code to change the mode. Let me walk you through it real quick like this post does. So after starting the event, you can take one of the hallways down to the basement that I'm sure some of you have found. There's a locked door that goes to the sublevel. To get through it, you need a passcode. The passcode is actually 970930. If you want to write it down, 970930. And you can find that this is a permanent passcode that you find on various areas, and each of the habitat has a couple of numbers from it. Okay, so you grab that, kind of like a nuclear launch code. Once you get through that door, you go down and you find a terminal, and the terminal contains a shutdown code. Now, the shutdown code, you have to exit the terminal. That's unique. So you get in there, you get this shutdown code. You take that back upstairs to the terminal where you start the event, go up there, and you put it in and select shutdown. The event starts normally, but there are two big changes. First of all, the friendly animals, you know how normally they run away when they're being attacked? They will now not avoid combat. They will actually jump in and fight alongside you instead of running away, which means they can take damage, but as long as you get a lot of rad kelp or venison or whatever for the event, they're relatively tough. They can hold their own. The other big change is after each round, they will heal themselves. And the robots that often jump in and are hostile to you, because you did the shutdown code, the robots won't fight you. So you just have the creatures to fight. So I just thought it'd be a fun thing to tell you. And also, this is how you get the Arctos Pharma backpack as a guaranteed thing if you got a successful event with the shutdown code active. So that was a popular post, and I thought a fun one to share if people didn't know.
So what's the one you're looking at, Fallout 76 on Reddit? Or
So yeah, what I do, because there are a number of subreddits on Reddit. FO76, you can sort popularity, but go to the top and then choose if you want the week or the month. You can go through and you can find a few things that way. So I go to RFO76 and then sort by top in this month. The fifth most popular, people asking for more capacity in stash boxes. These are things important to people. This is funny. This is popular every couple months. And we've got in the top 10, can we please get actual nights back? What is the point of dimming the sky? Literally no point. Give us nights. That has 700 some upvotes. So that is a good one.
Probably one of the most shocking things that I came across when I played vanilla Fallout 4.
Oh, because you didn't have Darker Nights on.
Right. Yeah, because I want night to be so dark that it's scary. You know, where you, even if you have your Pip-Boy light on, you only see a few feet in front of you. And so if you venture out at night, you know, you are going to get jumped.
It really is the way to go. And vanilla Fallout 4 is still much darker than 76's night. So give us 76 darker nights and give us Fallout 4 much darker nights. I agree. I like that feel too. Having to use your Pip-Boy and then choosing to actually sleep, making it scary to go outside.
Yep.
In survival mode, I usually always sleep at night because you have to get your health back.
Yeah, and there are all those mods to add feral zombies and such like that actually come out like hordes at night and such. I might install one just to test it out on this next playthrough, see how bad they are. But I think that's all I wanted to shout out there. Just kind of what's popular, what people are talking about. There are still people discovering that if you sit at a chair in the White Springs restaurant that you will come and get served by robots. Still discovering it 4.5 years in. I love it, but that's because there are new players all the time. You know what I mean? So I just love that. Yeah, getting a little bit less news on Twitter lately, like I mentioned. Reddit can be a good choice to kind of find what stories people are talking about, kind of based on popularity. Guys, got anything else for tonight to talk about?
I think that pretty much covers it.
Well, then I got a couple quick community shouts. We could wait for Andrew, but I think we can recruit Mo to shout out our friends. So I want to give a big happy scorecation to Casey. And I want to give a big happy out loud scorecation to Alex. Congrats on your scorecation, guys. Amazing.
Good times.
Yeah, we'd be up there, but
there's no shame, no excuses. We're only 4.5 weeks into the season. We got plenty of time.
Yeah. Way to go, guys, playing the game the way it was designed.
Yeah. I'm not about to do West Tech run-throughs to catch up or anything. I think I'll just play it as it comes.
This is us right now. Crickets.
That was recorded on the side of a hill out in the country.
Yes, you can tell. There are no mutant hounds present with those crickets. Mutant crickets playing vuvuzelas.
This is one of those things where I don't really remember what Andrew says at the end of the episode, because I'm usually catching up on chat and getting ready,
Well, then let me outro tonight's episode then. I would like to say you can find him at RayLB on Twitter, also at BBCISS, also probably cooking something awesome in that kitchen of his. Ray, thank you for joining tonight.
Good times.
And you can find him at Clint. What's your Twitter handle?
Clint SC9.
Clint SC9. And thank you so much for stepping in tonight.
My pleasure as always.
You can find me at Sleep is 4T. The show is at the Fallout Feed on Twitter and also, of course, on Facebook. Fallout Feed and Skyrim Addict podcast, or the other way around. First things first, we don't play favorites. Find us all there. Join the Facebook group. I want to thank you for downloading this edition of the Fallout Feed, and we will see you in the Wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrim Addict podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the Wasteland.
And we're out. Yeah. Yeah, you just take the silence out and leave all the rest of the stuff because, it's hilarious. Just let it go and edit out the silence.
Yeah, I'll keep the crickets. I don't have super mutant hounds, so wait, here's a rhino. That's a rhino, apparently.
I think you did that one. Yeah.
There's a dolphin for you.
But you don't have a hound.
Somehow, they did not include a super mutant hound in my wild animals sound collection.
That's
Got
weird.
a hyena. I don't even know what a hyena sounds like. Oh, wait, here's one. The walrus says...
Sure, that was a walrus.
Where did they have the microphone for that? Yeah. Which end of the walrus? Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, let me stop the recording. Bam.